Hello. Thank you for tuning in and tuning in if you're watching this in the replay. Today we have Nicholas Saller here with us, who is just an amazing guy, fantastic person, lots of fun to talk to. So if you just want to talk to someone for fun, he's a great guy too to do that. But he is fantastic as a fractional COO, CFO, and just all around sales guru. So he's done a lot of amazing turnarounds, worked with businesses that were, I guess you'd say, negative on the cash flow. It's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
And taking them, turning around to cash flow positive. He's done that in 30 days for some. In a year, gotten them to over $1 million. Is that right? Am I right on that?
Yeah.
So, has done some amazing things. So, Nicholas, today we are kind of a little unplugged and we're just going to chat about why you should ask for help. Nicholas is a great person to ask for help, and what in the world is going on with him and what he does for his clients. So, Nicholas, tell us a little bit about some of the work that you've done and maybe a story.
Well, I'm thrilled that you have me on. So thanks so much. And a really nice intro too. I'll try to kind of expand on that a little bit.
Please.
I've just been fortunate to be in the right place at the right time a lot of times in life. And I started early on. I was working at the age of 11. And then at 15, I started my first business to kind of create a little bit of revenue to not be taking from the family pot, so to speak, as a kid, try to bring a little bit of revenue in myself. And that just created an opportunity to learn business the hard way, because of the fact that when you start a business and you're a teenager, it's not like you have a lot of background to go off of. And so luckily, a lot of things fell into place. And I used that business to pay my way through college and grad school, or at least the majority of that. And shortly after college and grad school, I was tapped immediately after grad school to help a not profitable PT clinic become profitable. And so that first one was profitable in 4 months. And then that same year, at the 4-month mark, I received another request for 2 clinics that were 2 weeks from closing. And so the pressure was on. It was a great opportunity because there were some major financial benefits if it could be pulled off. And the result was in 30 days, it was cash flow positive. And within a year, it was $1 million company. And that was during the Great Recession. So it was a hard time to turn a business around. And we had some great successes with that. And then from that point forward, it just kind of went on from there.
And I love that you will work with a business that, the whole business is struggling, or just a branch of the business that's struggling too. So that's kind of neat how you do that. I like it. So
yeah, it's kind of fun. It's businesses are neat because there's so many different little pieces inside them that are moving around all the time. And one can be completely out of balance and it can sink a business. And sometimes multiple are out of balance. So being able to see what the pieces are, how they're working, if they're working to the benefit of the business or to the detriment, and then capitalizing on the ones that are working to the benefit and then fixing the ones that are detrimental to the successes. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So not everyone waits until they're 2 weeks away from closing to ask for help or realize that, they need to maybe make some changes. So when they're not that desperate, is there something that you can tell people that you work with your clients on, or things that they should be thinking of or doing so that if they're in a bad place? And I know a lot of businesses right now are kind of in a not the best place. So do you have any recommendations for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that there's a few things that business owners can do to put themselves in better spots. So there's so much information out there nowadays. So be readers. If you're a business owner, be a reader, because the fact that, you can get a library card from your local library and download an app on your phone and get free books, like literally check them out on your phone and listen to them or read them, whichever you prefer. I think that's really good. And read widely, because it gives you ideas from different sectors, and your brain will do the work for you, where it'll take those ideas and mash them up into something productive for your business.
Yes.
I think another one is that, don't be afraid to ask. It seems like as entrepreneurs, we tend to kind of slash through the jungle and create our own path in life, so to speak. But it doesn't hurt to ask for directions along the way. And I think that, business owners, we don't have to be alone. We can ask for help and create, professional partnerships and relationships and find mentors. And they don't have to be people that you ask either. Like I found a long time ago that if you ask someone to be your mentor, a lot of times it makes them feel uncomfortable. So you can just ask them questions about what they know about business and stuff in an indirect way and learn a lot that way. And then the final thing I think to add to that would be if you are a business owner, become really good at looking at the little things in your business, because oftentimes what sinks businesses and what the Bureau of Labor Statistics points out is that all these businesses are failing. The reason why a lot of those businesses fail is because it's the little things that pile up and compound over time that cause the problems.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and with marketing too, everything with business, but, we are always hoping for that home run, the magic bullet, the magic wand, some one thing's going to fix everything. And it's not the case. It's often, when I've turned around businesses, when companies are stagnant, they're not doing anything, they're struggling. It's not one thing that was done. It was a lot of little things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, don't underestimate what those little things are. But, you missed one thing, Nick, is that you can also ask for help. You can bring in professionals for help too. Don't discount what professionals can do with your business. So,
Well, and to your point, Nicole, like your work is so impactful for businesses. And it really stood out to me because I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I ran a series of polls inside of a LinkedIn group that I help administer the posts and make sure people are getting admitted that are, beneficial to the group. And there's like 183,000 people in this group. It's a really fascinating, dynamic, very active group. And so my polls were a series of polls that were progressive. And so it was like, what do you want to learn about regarding business? And so for 4 weeks straight, I did 4 weeks of polls, 4 weeks straight. Marketing was the thing that people were dying to know more about. And I think that what you're doing for businesses, where you sit, is hugely impactful because so many companies don't know where to start. They don't know what efforts work. They don't know what a plan looks like. They don't have an idea about strategy, none of that stuff. So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and sometimes, jumping into an expert and not knowing what you need to do is can be detrimental too. So, always ask people for advice and, maybe ask a few people for advice,
yeah.
figure out what aligns with what you're trying to do. Don't try and, run a construction company off of what your bartender is telling you they did for their business, or barista or beauty salon, going with the bees here. So, it's good to ask for advice. Look and see if it's going to fit with what you're trying to do. But yeah, no, I'm totally there with you. So, I just totally took over your conversation, your train of thought there, Nick. So,
Well, to your point, I think that you brought up a good point. Like weigh the information that you get as feedback. And back to the earlier part of our conversation, if you read widely, you're going to start seeing what works within your business. And if you are reading widely and asking people and getting very comfortable with asking people for their feedback, you're going to be able to determine objectively what is good feedback that may help your business and what is feedback that was well intended but potentially is misguided.
that's so good. Yes. Yeah. Another thing to think about is people that are a little too specialized. They only work in one, like one niche within an industry, and it's very, very niche, and it sounds really good, but they're missing out on those opportunities to learn things outside of what they do. So, it's good to have people that have experience with what you do and in your world, but if they have experience outside of that as well, it just adds to what they can offer you and what they can tell you. So, that's important too. So lots of things to think about. Ask questions, I think, is the answer that we're trying to go for here.
Well, I like what you said about, it's great to have some specialized experience in a niche, but when it comes to businesses and you look at a wide gaze approach to business, like it's great to have that specialized expertise and experience and stuff like that. It may be very applicable in a very specific, narrow band. But when you're trying to innovate in a space where all the ideas have been recycled over the last 20 years, 40 years, 60 years, it's great to look for expertise outside of that industry or that specific area of that business. Netflix is, the perfect example because like when it was created, the founder of Netflix was frustrated that he had a $50 late charge at Blockbuster, and he really liked the gym. So he's like, I'm going to mash up a gym membership with a movie rental. So he creates this company, and the rest is history. I mean, nobody hardly knows what Blockbuster is anymore, and everybody knows what Netflix is. And so
Yep.
it takes that kind of looking outside an industry. Uber's another example. Let's take drivers and take the idea of taxis and mash them up together. And so creating that, let's pull this idea from this industry, put it in this industry, and see how we can make something new and unique happen is a great way to go.
Yeah. And it can be something as mundane as how another industry is using geofencing, for instance. If
Good one.
they're targeting their client base by if they're going to an event or if they have work on that site, are they using it to attract qualified employees? Like, how are they using it? And if you only do what is common in your industry,
Mhm.
then you're going to miss out on what is working well in other industries. So there's lots of, it gives you great ideas. It gives you a reason to pull a new example on how you can use something that you already do. So, I mean, don't pigeonhole yourself with someone just because, that's what they do, or you do this industry. So when you really educate yourself, ask questions, read authors that have experience in all various things, you really expand on what you can do. So, don't feel like you have to do it alone
Yeah.
because there's so many opportunities to learn from just the world.
Well, and it's not only just books. Like
Mhm.
there's so much at our fingertips now. There's podcasts, there's short form video content, there's and the neat thing is that the ability to connect with other people and other professionals now is unprecedented. There's
Mhm.
online networking groups, there's masterminds. I mean, the list goes on and on. We could literally just keep the list going for the next couple hours of opportunities for resources and stuff. But the
Yeah.
neat thing is, as a professional, you get to take a little creativity and design your own ecosystem of how you're taking in top quality information and then applying it to your business.
Yeah. So tell any of our listeners what it is that you want them to start doing or what they can do now to improve their business.
Oh, good question.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That is, yeah. So I think for businesses is think about ways to stand out. And I want to kind of go into your area a little bit, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because of the fact that I think there's AI is going to level the playing field for a lot of people, and it already has. It's also going to give competitive advantages to some companies who are using it more than other companies. But when it comes down to it, AI is not going to replace people for the time being, and it may never, but it's getting better every day. And this is the worst that it will ever be. It's constantly improving. But my point is this: is that companies that really are going to step into the future with confidence and create wins are going to be the companies that create warm welcomes, exciting experiences, and fond farewells. They're going to create moments with their clients. They're going to develop relationships with their clients rather than just have transactions where somebody pays for something and walks out. And I think that the future is, how can you be meaningful and memorable? And I'd love to hear your thoughts from your point of view, because this is your area of expertise, and what that means for companies to pay attention to those things versus just numbers on a balance sheet.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge. Differentiation is one of my key things. How do you really set yourself apart? How do you make yourself stand out?
Yeah.
And if you are actually listening to what your customer base wants and what they really desire from you, and it's not the lowest price, it's not the fastest delivery. Sometimes that is exactly what they need. But what is it? What do they really care about? What do they really 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 need? um, Sometimes it is the most expensive delivery because they need it here yesterday, and sometimes they don't care when it's going to be there. Do you really know what they need? Do you know? And if you know what they need, know what they want, know where they expect you to deliver on that, you can deliver exactly what they want, what they need, and set yourself apart. And if you can be in their mind the only choice, doesn't matter what your competitors say or have AI write for them. They're going to know that they can trust you.
Yep.
And really, in a world where AI makes it so, can I trust this company? Can I trust this person? trust is going to be even more valuable. Like, it used to be forever, are they a value buyer or are they a price buyer? Well, there's also, are they a social buyer, an impact buyer? There's a term for it. Now I can't think of what it is, but it's, are they a good company? Like, are they treating people well? Are they treating the environment well?
Right.
But I really feel like trust is going to be precedent here. Precedent. I don't think that's the right word. It's going to be very important. Oh my goodness, it's a day. So trust is huge. So if you can show that trust and show that you can always deliver on it, that is going to transform your business if you're not showing it right now. So that's a big thing. Trust is huge.
Well, I think that you really hit on something strong there with the trust component.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the case, for time immemorial. But here's the thing, it's going to become more important. And here's why. Like, there are going to be some companies that are going to use AI and use other variations of tech, chatbots, you name it. And some of them are already doing this, but it's just going to get more and more creative. What they're trying to do is replace the trust that's built through the human element, the human interaction between the company and the client. And you can't replace that. And if you try to automate it and someone figures out that you've automated it and you think that you're going to trick them into believing that they just spoke with a real human, trust is going to be damaged. You're going to lose clients that way. It's going to make it look like you're falling asleep at the wheel or you don't care. I've seen this in chatbots where it acts like a human and then it's easy to figure out that it's not. And that makes me go, I don't want to do business with this company if I can help it. So I think a lot of people are going to crave more and more the trust and the interaction component, and they're going to do business with the companies that continue to make that the main point.
Yeah. And there's going to be times where a chat bot totally makes sense for your business, and there's times where it doesn't. And it's really talking to your clients to figure out what's important. Do they care if there's a chat bot here? Do they care if a chat bot's here? What matters? When do they need to talk to a person? When do they need to know it's a human? When do they need to know it's a real human? I'm sure everyone's seen some of those videos where it's like obviously not someone that's speaking, and they're like, eyes are huge and you can see the whites all around. Like some interesting awkward videos out there. But they want to know it's real. They want to know they can trust you. When do they need to see that? Where do they need to see that in that customer journey? So there's lots of opportunities to use it. We're not saying don't use it. There's lots of opportunities to use it correctly and opportunities to not use it to prove that you're going to trust, you can be trustworthy.
Well, and do you care enough to step in as an organization when the chatbot has reached the maximum ability to help that client? Do you care enough to have a workflow in place to step in immediately and say, hey, we've realized that you've exhausted our abilities to help you solve your own problems and stuff like that. We're here to help. Let's take it to the next level and get this wrapped up for you.
Yeah. So we've kind of hit on all sorts of random topics here. Make sure to reach out when you need help for your business. Don't be afraid to talk to someone, or read a book or lots of books. Don't be afraid to use a chatbot, but also pay attention to what your clients want. Like lots of things here. So Nick, tell us how people can get a hold of you if they're interested in talking to you.
Yeah, thanks. So I purposefully keep my presence small. And so anybody that would like to discuss more or reach out and chat, LinkedIn's a great place to find me. I purposefully, for my advising business, do not have a website. And LinkedIn's the only way to really reach me. And then also if someone makes a recommendation, says, hey, you need to talk to this person, I always enjoy those because it's fun to meet people that think that there's an opportunity to create value, mutually beneficial value that way.
Yeah, mutually beneficial value. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Everyone wants a win-win. So, but thank you, Nick, for joining us. Nicholas Saller, everyone. And thank you for tuning in. And I'm sure I'll have Nicholas here again to talk and ramble with me about random fun business things because it's fun to talk about. So, all right. Well, thank you. And we'll talk to you again here soon.